Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. First tonight, an entire medical ward has been forced to close at one of the state's largest hospitals following a COVID outbreak. It comes as more than 100 prisoners have also been infected, but the Premier is confident the health sector has a handle on the cases.
Unlike his predecessor, there was no ink to show off when Jeremy Rockcliffe rolled up his sleeve for a flu jab today.
Keep it nice and relaxed for me. Happy for me to go ahead?
No, I don't have a tattoo. I'm open to getting one. My family aren't all that happy about that fact.
Stepping up to the lectern for his first COVID press conference as Premier, he was urging others in the community to do the same ahead of winter.
Around 15,000 Tasmanians have done so over the course of their last 11 days. So that's a tremendous effort, and that needs to continue.
While vulnerable older Tasmanians are typically the focus of the rollout, a new age cohort is emerging.
That parents are aware that their young children, particularly those under the age of 5, are unlikely to have experienced influenza, and that I would strongly recommend they get influenza vaccine.
With grave fears, an overwhelmed health system won't cope with the added pressure.
And what we're going to see coming into winter is more flu, more COVID cases. That will also affect staff. We'll have staffing absences, and it's a recipe for complete disaster.
There's been 6 confirmed cases of influenza already, but the government remains assured it has resources to cope.
We are hopeful that with an increased surveillance, increased testing, increased vaccinations, we can stay on top of both flu and COVID.
Tasmania saw a low level of flu transmission in the community last year as a result of border closures and other health precautions related to COVID. But experts warn we shouldn't be complacent.
Having had COVID makes no difference to whether or not you get influenza or not.
The Launceston General Hospital is the latest facility to fall victim to an outbreak, forcing a general medical ward into chaos.
The ward is closed to new admissions and to visitors until further notice while the outbreak is managed.
This closure will put more pressure on the LGH in particular.
Correctional facilities are also battling the virus behind bars, restricting the movements of prisoners and visitors into facilities while a management plan is implemented.
There have been 104 prisoners across 5 sites diagnosed and 13 staff.
1,418 infections were reported overnight, while 47 patients are hospitalised with the virus. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
A man is on the run after an armed hold-up in broad daylight at a South Hobart petrol station. He entered the Macquarie Street building with a knife just before 4 this afternoon. The offender stole cigarettes and money before fleeing on foot. He was wearing brown work pants and a black hoodie at the time of the robbery. Labor is pledging nearly $300,000 for welding simulators for those learning the trade in Burnie. The party has also come out swinging at the Energy Minister's decision to come to Tasmania empty-handed on the same-day investment into hydrogen was announced in WA.
Bell Bay was identified as one of those priority areas, but there's nothing in the budget, there's nothing here for Northern Tasmania.
It's actually cheeky for Angus Taylor to fly into Tasmania today at taxpayers' expense with absolutely nothing to announce except a fear campaign.
Angus Taylor says the announcement of new hydrogen hubs in the West doesn't affect Bell Bay's chances of receiving its own. Tasmania's Fire Service is reminding people to continue registering planned burns with the authorities over the winter months. Their call comes as the fire permit season ends across the state at 2 a.m. Residents, however, must be able to manage their burns and also be alert of changing weather conditions. The Fire Service also advises property owners to alert their neighbours and ensure they don't impact their health. The Salvation Army has unveiled plans for a new housing development focused on helping women aged over 55 avoid becoming homeless. Many charities are preparing for a surge in people seeking support and shelter during winter, with the hot rental market being blamed.
Bringing shelter to those who need it most. This piece of Salvation Army land will give those fleeing their home a fresh start from next year.
We're really looking forward to being able to provide new homes for some of the most vulnerable women in Tasmania.
It's targeting a section of the community that's highly disadvantaged through domestic violence and other issues.
21 one and two bedroom units will be constructed as part of the $9 million development. It will focus on supporting women aged over 55 and their children, a demographic the Salvation Army says they're seeing more of.
Some women don't have as long in the workforce as men because they might be raising families. It means that at this stage in their life they're more vulnerable and at risk of homelessness.
The Select Foundation digging deep, donating $1 million.
For some time we've been looking to support a larger project, and the Salvation Army came along with this opportunity.
The need for crisis care a growing issue. With winter approaching, charities are bracing for a rise in those seeking reprieve from the cold.
When we're talking summer and people, can have that choice to sleep out, they might. In winter, it's not so much a choice.
City Mission seeing rising demand for their food hampers. Surging rental prices blamed for squeezing people's finances.
Because people are paying more and more money towards rent, it's everything else that suffers.
It's just becoming harder and harder for people to be able to keep a roof over their head and actually have their basic needs met.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, the family of a St Helens man who became an overnight millionaire thought he was pulling a prank when he revealed his big win over the Easter long weekend. He held one of 4 Division 1 entries in Saturday's Tats Lotto draw, taking home more than $1.3 million. The Tasmanian admitted he's known to be a trickster, but was thrilled with his win once his loved ones believed him. Well, a Tasmanian pumpkin grower is closing in on a greedy Green Thumb's 5-finger discount. Rain Barker's mega pumpkin was only days away from picking when it mysteriously went missing. Now she's expanding her search for the culprit to surrounding towns.
Bishopsburn, sleepy and safe, or so you'd think. Rain Barker knows there's a rat around here, not a rodent you'd normally find in a veggie patch, rather a common vegetable thief, stealing what was going to be a prized pumpkin.
So it would have been at least like that.
Squashing her dreams of winning a competition.
Would have been 50, easily 50 kilos. It was a whopper, it was like, whoa.
The abattoir worker had gone away for the weekend when the crime occurred. Her docile dog didn't give a yelp. CCTV also failed to catch the criminal, missing the hotspot for the horticultural heist.
It was a clean cut, there was no tyre tracks on the grass.
But Rain won't make the same mistake twice. This one will be picked and kept under lock and key the next time she goes away to prevent any more pumpkin pinches. But Bishopburn burglar, look out. Rain's extending her search beyond the town's limits, putting up posters today at the Carrick pub. And next growing season, she's taken the law into her own hands.
I'm putting up traps next year, so don't come to my house, there'll be traps.
The pumpkin was not insured. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, Crowded House has been forced to postpone the Hobart leg of a national tour just hours before the concert was due to begin. The decision was made after lead singer Neil Finn tested positive for COVID. The band had been due to play at the recently renovated MyState Bank Arena. In a statement, the Crowded House frontman said he was crushed but assured ticket holders the band will return. Fans are urged to hold on to their tickets and will be notified when new dates are announced.
Western United is back on New Tas Stadium for the second game of its Tasmanian tour. Lachie Wales, the hat-trick hero against Perth Glory, made Macarthur FC's keeper put his body on the line before Connor Payne broke through after half-time.
Oh, it's a perler from Connor Payne on the volley. Not for the first time this season.
The score remains 1-0 with minutes left in the game. Earlier, Western United's women's team took on a hand-picked Tasmanian side in a curtain raiser to the men's game. The team only flew in this morning after playing in Victoria's State League last night. Western United is set to enter the Women's A-League in the coming seasons, meaning today's game gave locals a taste of the top level.
Tasmania, Jasmine White scores for Tasmania.
Obviously there's eyes going to be watching them, which can actually get them into the market from a playing perspective.
Western United drew with the Tasmanian 11 1-1. And Richie Port has begun his lead-in tour to next month's Giro d'Italia. Racing in the 5-stage Tour of the Alps between Italy and Austria, Port charged a number of times in the closing kilometres to finish 7th in the opening stage. Frenchman Geoffrey Bouchard claimed his first professional win, 5 seconds ahead of the peloton.
Good evening. 17 was the state's top at Burnie today, Hobart 16 and a top of 15 in Launceston and Devonport, Maria Island 17, 14 at Luncheon Hill and 11 in Liawini. The satellite pictures show an area of mid to high level cloud moving over the south of the state throughout the day. An area of mid to high level cloud is also blanketing Tasmania, Victoria and southern New South Wales, while mid to low level cloud covers parts of Queensland, South Australia and the southern WA coasts. Tomorrow's chart shows a cold front moving across Tasmania in the morning and afternoon, followed by a trough in the evening, while a trough is sitting over central Queensland and northeast New South Wales. West to northwesterly winds of 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots about the north and south. Southwesterly swells of around 3 metres in the west and south, increasing to 5 to 6 in the evening. And a strong wind warning is in place for the Southwest Lakes, the central north coast, Bank Strait and Franklin Sound, as well as east of Flinders Island, the east coast and the west coast. A late shower or two in Hobart tomorrow. Geeston showers increasing, 15 in Bothwell. Partly cloudy in Launceston, Devonport 17 and a top of 19 in Cressy. Burnie partly cloudy and 17, 16 in Traun and showers easing in Curry. St Helens partly cloudy, 18 in Swansea and Orford 17. Showers about the west, south and central areas of the state on Thursday, easing during the morning, then clearing from the south, mainly fine elsewhere. Friday, areas of morning frost, otherwise fine apart from a few light showers about the west. And similar conditions on Saturday with west to southwesterly winds, 19 in Launceston, Hobart 18. And a shower or two in Cairns tomorrow, Sydney 24, a possible shower in Melbourne and mostly sunny and 35 in Darwin. And right now in Hobart it's cloudy and 12, Launceston also cloudy and 14, and Devonport mostly cloudy and 14. And Kim, I'm off to have some pumpkin soup.
Could be the culprit. Enjoy it, Victoria. That is all we have time for this evening. As always, thanks for your company. For now, it's good night.